Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Virtual Storytime with Councilmember Will Gerondo. Uh, as you probably are seeing right now, we have a very, very special guest, a good friend and my congressman, Congressman Jamie Raskin. Thank you for joining us today.
Will, I'm just delighted to be with you and with all of the kids and their parents out there. And thank you for inviting me. I've been excited about this all week long.
Well, you're good. We've been excited too. And as we were talking about, this is a passion of mine as lead for libraries for the county council. And when they closed down due to COVID to keep everyone safe, story time is something that many families and caregivers are for thousands of kids and families that wasn't available in person. So we started this up back in March, and we've been going here. We're in our, on our 66th show. So
wow.
It's been fun and really happy that we were able to get you on.
I'm delighted to do it.
So we have two books that we're going to read today. That's our tradition here on Storytime, as everyone knows. And I'm going to read one, and Congressman Raskin is going to read the other. The book that I'm reading is a cool book called I Am Otter, and it's written by Sam Garton. And we thank HarperCollins for giving us permission to read this book during the pandemic, and all the publishers that allowed us to do that. And Congressman Raskin is going to be reading the book that he selected called Put Me in the Zoo. It's written and illustrated by Robert Wolfshire, and it's used with the permission of Random House. So thank them for that. So I'll start us off as we do always. No shout outs today because this is a pre-recorded session, but we're going to sing our welcome song and say hi to everybody, and start books. And you don't have to sing. You can just judge. You can just be in the audience and judge. and as always, Mr. Mortimer, we had a contest to name him. Mr. Monkey, but then we had a contest and all the kids picked Mr. Mortimer, so he says hi too. All right, so we do our little welcome song. It goes just like this. We clap and sing hello. We clap and sing hello. With our friends at story time, we clap and sing hello. We wave and sing hello. We wave and sing hello. Oh, with our friends at story time, we wave and sing hello. Then we get the real deep voice, and we stop and sing hello. We stop and sing hello. With our friends at story time, we stop and sing hello. That's all right. So we're going to get into our first book of the day here, which is I Am Otter. So let's read what this is about. It looks like he's getting into quite a few things. This is a book about me and my best friends, Otter, Keeper, and Teddy. It's all about the fun and messy and a little bit scary adventure we had one day when Otter was at work. All right, let's see what it's all about. I Am Otter by Sam Garton. Hi, I'm Otter. No one really knows where I came from. Otter Keeper says that he found me in a box on his doorstep one day. Okay, you came in a box, right? He says back then I was very small. I'm still quite small, so I must have been really tiny. I wish I'd make the most of being that little. He wished he got in a teacup, ate some cookies. At first, I was a bit scared of Otter Keeper, but luckily, Teddy had just come to live with Otter Keeper too. The teddy bear joined him. Now I love Otter Keeper and Teddy very much. We have so much fun together. You wouldn't believe it. My kids have one of these little red cars too. Did one of your children ever have one of these, Jamie? These are pretty common. These red.
Oh yeah, they were all over our house.
Yes, especially on the weekends. Stuff all over the place. But then every Monday we get bad news. Otter Keeper will be going to work, and then they're lonely. I do all sorts of things to prevent Otter Keeper from leaving, like trying to stop Monday from happening altogether, or hiding his lunch where he'll never find it. But my plans never work. Holding onto his leg, trying to keep him there. Teddy and I think it is very unfair that we don't have jobs. So one day we decided to start our own business, a toast restaurant. After some basic training, Perfect Toast, Wrong Toast, chef book that they're reading, we opened for business. All right. Right away, though, we ran into problems. First, Teddy had forgotten to make the reservations, or to take the reservations, rather. Next, Teddy hadn't told anyone how much our toast would cost. And as a result, no one brought any spending money, which led to some embarrassing situations. Mr. Robot and Mr. Pig, they couldn't afford the toast. Finally, Teddy got several of the toast orders wrong. Uh-oh. Mixed up the orders. Some of the customers complained and had to be asked to leave the restaurant. Uh-oh, they threw some toys out the window. Oh, no. That was the last straw. So Teddy was fired, and I gave his job to Giraffe. But even with a new chef, the restaurant still had big problems. Oh my goodness, look at the mess they made in the restaurant there. that is a problem. Looks like my house after the kids being here all week. But the biggest problem of all was Otter Keeper had just come home. Everyone had to hide, so they stuffed all the stuff in the cabinets and anywhere they could, the cookie jar and in the shoe. Luckily, otters are very good at hiding. Unluckily, Otter Keepers are very good at finding otters. The toast restaurant was shut down. Things had to be cleaned up, and everyone was sent home. All the toys got packed away. I tried to explain to Otter Keeper that this had all been Teddy's fault. But wait, where was Teddy? Where'd he go? I'd been so mean to Teddy, he probably ran away to start a new toast restaurant with somebody else. At bedtime, Teddy still hadn't turned up, and I couldn't sleep. Looking at his picture of Teddy. This was an emergency, I thought. He made missing Teddy posters and posted them around the house. Luckily, in an emergency, you are allowed to wake up Otter Keeper. The search began. After hunting almost all night, we were running out of places to look. Then all of a sudden, I had a clever thought. I wonder where he could be. Teddy! He was in the box of toys that got cleaned up. Now everything is normal again. And after that long night, they're all sleeping at the table there. Otter Keeper still goes to work, but I don't mind as much because I have my best friend back. And now, when things go wrong, I understand they are not actually Teddy's fault at all. They are Giraffe's fault. So you pass the blame off to Giraffe. All right. That is a precocious otter. So that was a good one for our young children, I think. So that I Am Otter. I never read that one, so I'm going to use that for my youngest. So we are back, and the other thing we do, and then I'm going to turn it to you, Congressman Raskin, is we have a really cool hand washing song that we do to remind our young viewers how important that is right now during COVID. And all the time, wash your hands, keep them clean so you don't spread any viruses. So it's sung to the tune Farajaka, which is a song I'm sure everyone knows. And you follow the instructions in the song, and you do it with warm soap and water, and your hands are clean. And all my kids are doing it. I see people send me videos about it. So feel free to take this going forward. Again, you don't have to sing it, but you're welcome to give your critiques. So it goes like this: tops and bottoms, in between, rub them all together, scrub them all together. Now they're clean. Do it twice. Tops and bottoms, in between, rub them all together, scrub them all together. Now they're clean. There you go. Thank you very much. So it's my
beautiful
pleasure.
Voice, Councilman Chawanda.
Well, thank you. You know, I'm trying. I got a lot of practice here. It's my pleasure to turn it over to Congressman Jamie Raskin to read his book. And if you want to tell us, anytime we have a guest, we always like to ask, why you chose your book. So you can.
Well, thank you very much, Councilman Chawanda. Thank you for doing this. What a wonderful public service you render with the story time, and thank you for doing it from the very beginning of this period that we're in. I had suggested two things. One was Put Me in the Zoo, which is my absolute favorite book for little kids. And when I was a little kid, it goes way, way back. It's got a surprise, stunning finish. The end of the story, it'll have you at the edge of your seat.
Right.
And then I wanted to read or tell the story of a Greek myth, maybe about Echo and Narcissus or Daedalus and Icarus, but I'll come back some other time and we'll do that. Because I know it's more interesting to have a book with the graphics and the illustrations. So I'm going to leave it to your expert staff to turn the pages for me. This is Put Me in the Zoo by Robert Lopshire. Put Me in the Zoo. To Ted, Helen, and Phyllis. I will go into the zoo. I want to see it. Yes, I do. I would like to live this way. This is where I want to stay. Will you keep me in the zoo? I want to stay in here with you. We do not want you in the zoo. Out you go, out with you. Why did they put me out this way? I should be in. I want to stay. Why should they put you in the zoo? What good are you? What can you do? What good am I? What can I do? Now here is one thing I can do. Look, now all his spots are blue. And now his spots are orange. Say, he looks very good that way. Now look at this. What do you see? Green spots as green can be. Violet spots say, you are good. Do more, we wish you would. I can do more. Look, this is new. Blue, orange, green, and violet too. Oh, they would put me in the zoo if they could see what I can do. I can put my spots upon this ball, and I can put them on a wall. I can put them on a cat, and I can put them on a hat. I can put them on the zoo, and I can put my spots on you. Look at this now, 1, 2, 3. I can put them on a tree. And now when I say 1, 2, 3, all my spots are back on me. Look now, here is one thing more. I take my spots, I make them 4. Oh, they would put me in the zoo if they could see what I can do. I take my spots, I take them all, and I can make them very small. And now you see I take them all and I can make them very tall. And then when I want to have more fun, I take my spots, I make them 1. Yes, they should put me in the zoo, the things my spots and I can do. See, I can put them in a box. I take them out, they look like socks. And I can put them way up high, up they go, I make them fly. I put them high up in the air, my spots fly here, my spots fly there. I call them back now, 1, 2, 3. Now all my spots are back with me. Tell me now, you two, do you like the things I do? Tell me now, you two, will they put me in the zoo? We like all the things you do. We like your spots and we like you too. But you should not be in the zoo. No, you should not be in the zoo. With all the things that you can do, the circus is the place for you. Yes, this is where I want to be. The circus is the place for me. And they lived happily ever after.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, going to the circus. That seems like a good place. I used to love to do that. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that again too. So,
Absolutely.
So, maybe you can get Icarus into this, but I wanted to talk just for a few minutes with you about, we've been talking. We've had some guests on. We had Katie Ledecky on to talk about her path and journey to growing up here in Montgomery County and becoming an Olympian and some of the lessons she's learned. And so I try to, with every guest, talk about something. And I know, just knowing you as I do, I know democracy and the strength of our democracy means a lot to you. And it certainly means a lot right now in this moment we're in. And I wonder what advice or thoughts you'd have on the state of our democracy for, obviously appropriate for our audience, which is mostly children between 4 and 10, but we do have adults that watch through. I'd be curious.
Well, I appreciate that so much, Councilman Jawando. We're lucky to live in a society where every person counts, and that's really what democracy is about. It's about each person being part of the group, and when we have our rights, that means that we have the ability to participate, and then we also have a responsibility to listen and to allow other people to participate too. And that's how democracy works. And it really starts in our schools. It starts with our classes and kids learning to work together. And it starts in our families with appreciating the voice of children and allowing kids to express themselves. And that's the magic of democracy. And you kids out there, you read a lot of books about kings and queens and royals, but in America we don't have kings and queens. We don't believe in that, right, Councilman Jawando? We believe that everybody's equal together, so we don't, in a democracy, we don't have some people who are above everybody else and boss people around. That's not how it works. We learn to work together, to listen to other people, to cooperate, and then we all do better when we're working together like that.
Yeah. And I, it's one of those things where that doesn't always mean that everyone agrees all the time, right? Isn't that kind of the point of in that conversation and everyone being equal, people are going to have different opinions, but when democracy is functioning, you come together, you have those discussions, and you do what's best for the whole. And I think that's a lesson for kids as well, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely right. Well, and kids learn that lesson with their brothers and sisters. You don't always agree with your brother and sister about what you want to eat for lunch or what you want to watch for a movie at night or whatever, but you work it out. And it's like, okay, well, I'll let my sister choose tonight and I'll choose tomorrow night. And that's what democracy is. Everybody gives a little bit. Everybody gets not everything they want, but something that they want. But we enjoy the process of learning to live together and to be cooperative together.
And I think I remember you're a middle child, so you've had to be in that position quite a bit. For some of our kids that are middle children, do you have any advice to the middle children out there?
Well, I always thought that middle children are like peacemakers, and I read an interesting book about this called Born to Rebel, about birth order. And, it's different scientific theories about how birth order affects people's personalities and what they do. And so we just have to remember that people see it differently according to where they are in the birth order. I mean, if you're the youngest child and you're the smallest and you're the littlest, you might not feel like you're always getting the, you're getting to do the same things the bigger kids are doing. On the other hand, you get a lot of attention, you get a lot of love. Sometimes the bigger kids feel like they've got too much responsibility taking care of everybody else, and sometimes the middle kids feel like they get lost in the shuffle and so on. So we just have to be attentive to what it means to be different places in a birth order. I know you've got a big family. Well, you're blessed with a lot of kids, and I always love seeing your family because the kids all seem so happy together. Like, they're great as individuals, but they're great as a group too. You know?
Yeah, we take those pictures in those brief moments when they're not fighting. No, they love each other, and it's funny because I'm an only child, so it's a very different experience for me having four children and so close in age. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I wanted to talk to you about Hamilton. Because I think some of our viewers have asked this, and my kids, we allowed my older kids to watch it. And it's now on Disney Plus, and obviously the story of Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr and of our founding of our nation and the imperfections and the take on it. And I think it was a particularly interesting moment to be watching it now in a point in time where we are still, as we've always been, struggling with living up to the true promise of America, to the what's been written in our founding documents that's never fully been true for everybody. And I would wonder if you had a comment on the moment in history we're in and or Hamilton and how that plays in, and if you've seen that and its applicability.
I actually have not seen the whole thing. I've watched like a couple seasons. This weekend we were planning to do it now that it's on.
Oh, okay, good.
But I will say this. Hamilton's an interesting figure because he was obviously, he had a tough life and he had a struggle to get to where he was. He was against the institution of slavery very early on, and not all of our founders were. Like Jefferson and Washington went along with slavery, and so that is much to his credit. But Hamilton did have he had some leanings towards kings and queens, towards monarchy, and thought maybe that should be part of what we do. But look, it's great to study it because our framers did some great things, but it also allows us to see that they were human beings just like us. That was one of the things that Jefferson, to his credit, said. He said that we should not regard the founding generation with what he said was sanctimonious reverence. That is, we shouldn't regard them like they're higher beings or deities. They're just people, and we're people like them, and we have one thing they don't have, which is all of the experience of history since they lived. And so we have to think for ourselves. That's really how we do the founders the most honor. Think for ourselves and try to do for our times what they tried to do for their times. And that's how the country gets better and better. That's what progress is.
That's exactly right. And that's particularly important right now when we're going through so much change, with the global pandemic for kids that are growing up right now, staying at home, not going to school, dealing with the virus, but also dealing with the social unrest we're having in reaction to all the inequality, particularly with police and all the things that are happening. And I think that's a great point that you bring up about we have all this benefit of this knowledge, but we also have a responsibility to do something with it and to keep pushing the union forward, right, to perfecting it. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. This goes back to your point about democracy, Will, that in democracy, we're always remaking what our social contract is. And we have a social contract that was flawed in a lot of ways when it started, and we've made progress, but we have a lot more progress to make. That's exciting. That's an opportunity for us that we get to be founders again. We get to renew our social contract.
Yeah, that's right. You hear all that, kids. So you guys have the power to chart the new path. Well, I really am happy that you're able to join us, and we'll have to have you back so you can read the Icarus story too.
Yes, that'll be great.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's anything else you want to share with our guests or viewers before you go.
Well, I hope all you kids out there have a great weekend. And thank you again, Councilman Jawando, for making sure that everybody gets a little infusion of literary light a couple times a week. That's really cool. And thank you for all your service, Councilman, too.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all you're doing at the federal level. And, you know, as I tell our viewers, we've had, I think you're our first federal elected official. We've had some other council members on. You know, it's really important. Part of that democracy is that you have levels of government, and you need all of them working well. At the county level, where I am, at the state level, and at the federal level, to make sure that that democracy really works. So thank you for all that you're doing to support us both locally and nationally. Really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that, and I look forward to when, you know, President Biden might come on one day. You never know.
Yes, I hope so. Yes, I hope so. We'll do a special story time for that. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you, Congressman Raskin. I'll sing. I have a closing song. It takes 2 seconds to sing, and then we will sign off. But really great having you on, and we'll have you back. All right.
Thank you so much.
No problem. So, all right, everybody. So we'll see you next week. And thanks for coming out. And our closing song is just, you can sign off if you want. I'm going to take the song out. Yeah. We clap and sing goodbye. We clap and sing goodbye. With our friends at story time. We clap and sing goodbye. We wave and sing goodbye. We wave and sing goodbye. With our friends at story time. We wave and sing goodbye. See you later, guys. Have a great week.